I hope you guys aren't getting sick of seeing cool steel in front of the Nutnfancy camera. I've got a lot more blade reviews coming your way. I mean a lot. Knives that I am super stoked on. Very excited to talk about, share with you, put it out there for your consideration. Here comes another Kershaw. The Volt 2 Model 3650. It is a slam dunk for my playlist of best knives, that is folding knives under $40. Great knife, Model 3650. When we talked to Kershaw SHOT Show 2011, this is one of the blades I mentioned to Jen and company there at the Kershaw booth that I said, that's just a great knife. It's well designed, the price is right, the features are outstanding. I will tell you this though, I am absolutely bummed out that I didn't hook into the original Kershaw Volt. Sigh of disappointment. I'm not even kidding you. That thing was based on the Q36 Overkill by R.J. Martin, talking about the original Kershaw Volt. What a gorgeous knife that was. I've never seen one in person. I have researched it. About 4.8 ounces, very slim, titanium and G10. It was a composite blade made of D2 and N390 steel. Absolutely gorgeous. Rode really deep with a very cool short clip. Oh man, I'm getting excited just thinking about it. Hold me back. Kershaw, come out with another version of that. Wait, check that. Actually don't, because the guys who have that Volt, it would kind of lose some specialness. Yeah, see what a nice guy I am, thinking about those guys. Lucky enough to have that original Kershaw Volt. I want one. If I see one for a good price, I'll snag it. By the way, they're in the hundreds. I mean, I don't know, 400 or something. Insanely expensive right now. Probably a little bit out of my price range. Let's get going on this one though. And this is the part 2 of that sad and tragic story of me not getting the original Volt. Is you kind of get it in this knife. It's a big kind of. It's not like identical. In fact, it's a very different blade. There are some similarities. This is also an R.J. Martin designed blade produced overseas. Yes, into the talking points. POU. It's a great EDC blade. Everyday carry knife. Absolutely a smart choice in that philosophy of use. Collectible? Maybe. It's not special like the original Volt because of the materials. It's mass produced. But, you know, there's different levels of collectability. In other words, I think when people talk about knives and collecting, they're like, well, I'm going to buy this knife and hope that it increases in value. I've always said that is not where I come from in collectability. To me, when I mention collectability, it is enjoyment for the owner. And I think in that function, philosophy of use, the Volt 3650 will function well. If it's a knife that you just enjoy fondling, it doesn't have to necessarily be made out of, you know, mother of pearl handles and other special materials, but you might just enjoy it. I think there's a lot of TMPers around the world that it absolutely fall into that category. Probably that I have addicted to the blade. You're welcome. Welcome to my sickness, the blade addiction. And if you have a collection of what are affordable, very functional blades like the 3650, you have a collection. So it's collectible and it's fun to open up your knife drawer for the day, sit back and kind of say, what knife or knives am I going to carry today? Take it from me, that is fun. I do it every day and it is enjoyable. Call me crazy. Tactical blade? No. Too small. Great traction plan on this. Maybe lightweight tactical. I would say probably not. Just an overall utility blade, everyday carry blade. 3.4 ounces is what the 3650 weighs. Not super duper light. Definitely light enough to integrate into pretty much most systems, I will say. I think the blade size is ideal for EDC. Ideal. It's not too big. Okay, I'm going to roll at this point. Usually I save it to the end of the video. Let me show you some other knives previously reviewed here in TMP that are also excellent in size for EDC. First off, Vantage Select Small by Buck. I raved about the size of the Vantage Select Small, did I not? Yep. Wearing a very keen edge, by the way, from the Edge Pro Apex that I just put on there. Nice. I'll talk about the edge on this one in a minute. Here comes another Kershaw, also reviewed, love it. Assisted opening with a speed safe, just like the 3650. This is a model 1830. Oh, so sweet. Raved about the size on that. You can see the blades are about the same size. Twitch from SOG. Excellent blade, also assisted. One of my all-time favorite blade shapes for EDC. That's the Twitch and the Flash. Basically, I'm talking the Flash 2. Let's roll in the Scamp. I just reviewed that not too long ago. What a great knife that is. The Scamp, much bigger. Like I said, the Scamp is probably on the large size for my own preferences, EDC. There you go. A little bit of comparison and contrast onto the TPs. The Steel, 8CR13 MOV. MOV. I built in an echo for special effects. Very similar to OS 8, just like I've said on camera many times before. Kershaw tells us that it has additional carbon content versus OS 8 that gives it a little bit more hardness and toughness, better edge holding characteristics. Kershaw and Spyderco do outstanding jobs with 8CR13 MOV, a premium Chinese steel. They heat treat it properly. They just, I'm not sure exactly who their vendor is, if they're getting it, but it's good steel. I know this because it takes and holds an edge very well. Both makers. Kershaw's no different. Out of the box, you guys are going to dig this. This edge is smoking awesome. How refreshing. Out of the box, it's very sharp. I'll dispense with a paper test, take my word for it, and check this out. New addition to the Nutnfancy reviewing table. So special. Magnifying glass. I know, it's just crazy. Let's take a look at that edge. I think that's going to work. Probably see my fat face and all my camera gear there. See the bevel? I'm not sure how that's showing up on camera. I think you'll be able to see it though. Clean. The reason I'm doing this is because I'm spending more time looking at the grinds of our manufacturers as they come out of the box. Well done, Kershaw. And it's going to be easy enough to resharpen with what I consider to be a reasonable bevel. Okay, relief edge. It's not polished. You can see some roughness in it. That's pretty standard for a factory knife, especially at this price point. But great job with the sharpening. And by the way, hollow ground. It's not flat ground. You can always detect that, as I've said 1,000 times. Kind of a modified, I don't know, what do you want to call that? Drop point? Whatevs. Unsharpened swedge on the top. Using the Kershaw catalog for focusing. We'll look at the tip. Nice. Good precision, not super delicate. Great Great overall blade shape, I think. Excellent. Good belly. It'll function just fine. And what do you know? My favorite friend in a folding knife, jimping. And it works. Sharp jimping. There's a Kershaw logo bragging about the speed safe, which by the way I absolutely love. Kershaw does such a good job with its assist. There's a blade imprinting on the other side. This is a bead blasted finish on this 8CR13 MOV. Not super rust resistant. Take care of it. And the bead blast might even accelerate that just a little bit. The rustability of the steel. On to speed. I already talked about it. It's fast. I love assisted opening knives. Like I said years ago, why would you disable an assisted opening mechanism? At least one like this. Getting back to the collectability, this is a fun knife to play with. I think I said that with the Oh So Sweet, right? Also assisted opening. They're just fun knives. They're fun. Lockup. Here we go. Side to side, no movement at all. Phosphor bronze bushings inside. You can see the stop pin right there of medium size. No side to side movement. Yes, it's easily adjustable from one side. Good job, Kershaw. Love this knife. Handle material, nylon, FRN, with a unique molded in diamond pattern that I like. And also look at the rounded corners on that. I've always discussed that. That gets into ergonomics. It's a very comfortable knife to hold. And to carry, with a little small caveat I'll cover here in a minute. You can take the handle scales off if you want to. There's a Zytel backspacer, so it's not, pillar constructed knife all the way. Blade centering. Oh, I always love it when I remember that. A little bit off in this version, a little bit, you can see that. Not a showstopper. If it's scraping the liner, I don't like that. Remember the price point on the knife, okay? I don't have a problem with it, and I don't see it hitting the liner. You don't hear it rubbing at all. Handle material is just fine. Clip design. Hallelujah. Positionable to 4 corners. Okay, not all 4 corners. I was just messing with you. It's positionable on this side only for tip up or tip down. You take your pick. You can see my preference. And not always is tip up the best for every knife that I review. I've talked to some that actually carry better due to the handle construction, the design of the knife. Better tip down. Okay, this one buries deep in the pocket. I didn't notice that diamond pattern molding on the FRN handles caused any, significant pocket wear problems. A little bit of a Wizard of Oz issue going on that clip. To me, that means goofiness. It's just kind of, I don't know, strange looking, a little bit. Organic. Kershaw does that. Kershaw just kind of has that flair. Not a showstopper for me. It's adequately anchored with those 2 screws. It is what it is. I'd prefer it to be blackened. Call me crazy. But the clip holds strong and it doesn't flare out too much. Doesn't catch on stuff like cars as you walk past them. Stuff like that. The clip is okay. Durability, I think, will be good. Now, let's say excellent. 8CR13 MOV steel. We've talked about it so many times on camera. It's a great high value option, and that's why you see more and more knives at this price point using it. I'm almost to the point where I say, 8CR13 MOV, a quality formulation and heat treat like Kershaw does. AUS 8. To be honest, I'll still go with AUS 8, but it's by a small margin because I'm finding these knives take such a fine and razor edge. They hold it well. Rust resistance, we've discussed that already. Durability will be fine over time. If you are a Kershaw Volt 2 Model 3650 owner, in the comments, tell us what your durability experience has been under hard use. If you are a TMPer, subscribe to the project, post a response video. Show us your thrashed 3650s and your overall take on the blade. I think that would be fun. Value. Oh, it just gets better from here, as if it wasn't enough. Off the charts. I forgot to show you this. Little bit of milling inside the liners. Little bit. I wish it was a bit more. That way we would pare down that weight to something, I don't know, a little bit more competitive. It's 3.4 ounces. Mill that out more aggressively. Alright, it is what it is. Oh, and while we're here, look at that. The engagement on the liner lock, about halfway. Enough that it can wear in there. Back to value. Smoking. $22. This is 2011 while I'm filming this. That is amazing. Absolutely amazing to me. $22? I mean, you could buy a whole caseload of these compared to what the original Volt is going for, at least for now. Cool factor? Well, maybe not as, high as the RJ Martin Volt original. Definitely not. I'm not going to lie. But it's a user. And maybe an affordable collectible that will give you enjoyment. After all, that's what these things do for us. They give us enjoyment. How many of you kind of are in your office and then you're just going through your blade collection fondling? Oh, that's such a cool knife. Then you go to this other knife. Oh, that's a cool knife. And your girlfriend goes, what are you doing in there? Checking out my blades, man. I love my blades. They're cool. Great hand-me-downs, too, for your kids, your boys. What a connection it is between father and son. I will say this, though. For the price you're going to pay on the 3650, cool factor off the charts. Almost free. Almost free for you, my friend. Like me back at the watch market back in the Mideast. That is the Nutnfancy tabletop review of the outstanding, high-value, super fast, easy to carry Model 3650. Oh, I do have to add one thing. It's not the thinnest knife in the world. Compared to the Spyderco Delica 4 FFG, you can see there is a little bit of a thinness advantage for this knife. Not a showstopper for me because in hand, and I don't know if I even addressed this, very comfortable. Very comfortable. Those rounded handle scales, a little bit more thickness translates into for some people, better, traction on that. There you have it. Super great knife. Nutnfancy tabletop review. Signing off. See ya.